in Denver since November of 2007.
Ooh, it's a long time.
November 27th to be exact. I'll give you $100 if you can tell me who led them in scoring that day.
2007, Carmelo.
The Pacers.
Oh, the Pacers, 2007. I don't remember who was playing.
Yeah, I'm trying to think so.
Too late. Mike Dunleavy had 30 that night.
Never. It's been a long time. Mike Dunleavy.
That's why I so willingly offered up the $100. There's no way you'd do that. 4 different Pacers go for 20 or more in this game. They've won 5 in a row, 6 of their last 7. Domantas Sabonis with his first career triple-double, and Doug McDermott with 18 of his 24 in the fourth quarter.
Well, he got a little payback for the Denver Nuggets drafting him and then trading him on draft day. We were talking about him being able to just, if he's shooting the ball well, you have him out there in the game. He stretches out the floor, opens it up for everybody else out there. And Sabonis has just been handling business on the inside, picking and popping, bullying people on the boards, and triple-double. That's great for him. Also means that he's, he was passing the ball as well. And then you add in, sight for sore eyes for this team having Malcolm Brogdon back.
Yep.
And that solid play that he brings on both ends of the floor. He's a consummate pro. Doesn't do anything flashy, but just gets the job done.
That left-handed dunk was about as flashy as you see him go. I was like, wow. That's it's about as high-flying as he gets. I thought Indiana made, especially in that fourth quarter, beat him up on the boards a little bit of Sabonis, ref offensive rebounding, made Denver go big, Plumlee and Jokic, and they were out of sync with that. That's when a guy like a Paul Millsap, who's played against bigger players his whole life, matches up really well against Turner. He can play Turner because he's going to push him out and be physical, and they can still kind of keep their offense going. I don't like the offense in Denver when the 2 big guys are out there. There's just not enough playmaking. Jokic, yes, but I just don't like that. But give Indiana all the credit. We talked about it just to start off. They hang around, and they make a big buck. McDermott made those 2 left corner threes, 6 points in the fourth quarter on 2 big threes, and they hang around just.
Denver without Paul Millsap, without Jamal Murray, but Indiana outscores them by 15 in the fourth quarter. You mentioned the trade, which is tragedy to me because he could have been Dougie McNugget, and it never happened. At the end of his career, he's got to make that happen at some point.
He would have got a lot of endorsements.
Oh, man, can you imagine the possibilities? The agents should make that happen. At any rate, he was huge tonight in the win. Here he is with Jeremiah Johnson. Doug McDermott is having the best three-point shooting season of his career, and in fact, tonight alone raised his percentage by almost 1.5 points. He's at 44.5% now on the season. Pacers get the win. They move into a tie more or less with the Celtics. Boston has them by percentage points in the Eastern Conference standings. Stick with us. More Game Time coming up. Friday, NBA.com posts the Kia MVP ladder. Changes from week to week, and we just so happen to have the curator of that list with us once again. Sekou Smith here to take you through the top 5 in the MVP. And my question for you is, having done this a long time now, we just reached the halfway point of the season. How often is the guy at number 1 at the halfway point ultimately the MVP?
That's a great question. It's usually we figured out the race by now. The guys who are going to be in the hunt, down the stretch of the season, have made themselves available, and I think we have this year as well. These 5 guys are generally the 5, maybe one more guy who might be in that mix, who's kind of on the fringes of the top 5 right now. But these are the faces you're going to see, depending on how they finish that stretch after All-Star, who will be in contention for the MVP this year.
All right, any changes?
With slight changes, a little shuffling.
Is it the same 5?
It is the same 5 guys, but it's not the same order. Number 5 is this week, James Harden. And the Rockets are going through it right now, having a little spell where they're trying to figure out why they can't get back to playing at a high level. James Harden had his worst scoring night, Matt, in 2 years.
13 points.
13 points. Unheard of for Harden to struggle like that. It's not all on him, obviously, but he's got to own some of the struggles since he gets to own all of the good stuff when Houston's rolling. So Harden takes a slight dip this week.
A haircut, if you will.
He has,
if not a beard trim,
he's done a little different with with the braids and put him in a new light. Nothing wrong with that. And I appreciate him for not being one of these guys who's upset about where he slides or where he fits on the ladder every week. Jimmy Butler, though, this is a guy to me who's getting a boost for his team's performance this year. Is he's not on this list because he's got outlandish stats. There are guys on this list, Harden included, who are just playing at a level in terms of what they're doing specifically that we haven't seen, averaging all those points. Jimmy Butler is on this list because he's impacting winning at a level that very few guys are for their team. You look at what Miami was before he got there. Now you get him there. They're unbeatable at home, basically, and every bit in the mix for a home court, spot in the Eastern Conference playoff chase.
Yeah, it's a good example of context mattering in this MVP race, and I bet you hear from a lot of folks who say, Jimmy Butler, he only averages blah,
His
blah, blah.
numbers don't look right.
Exactly.
Like they look at somebody's numbers and assume, and I think we often do this. People look at somebody's offensive numbers and assume that dictates whether or not you're a really great player. That's only part of the game.
I also assume they're using that voice when they complain to you. Jimmy Butler,
that's just the way I read it. No matter what you say, that's
Number 3, Luka.
Luka Doncic, to me, I thought we would get to a point where Luka would stop impressing us. We'd be going, all right, we're getting used to this. All right, yeah he's great. 12th triple-double, leads the league, and continues to really drive this Mavericks team into territory they have not seen in quite some time. I like Luka's, the humble nature of this guy. When he hears the comparisons to other great players or, you're better than Dirk, you got a chance to be better than Dirk, he shoots that down and makes sure that the rest of us remember he hadn't even seen his 21st birthday yet. Yeah. He's getting ready to hit that next month. It's going to be in the same month that he goes to his first All-Star weekend as a guy playing on Sunday night in the big game. It'll be interesting to see how Luka comes back after the break because he won't have this gusto that he had to kick off a season. Now you got to figure out a way to be effective after everybody's seen you and knows that you're playing at that next level.
A lot of chatter in Sacramento this week about the one who got away. Remember, they were one of the teams who passed on him, and then he hit him with a triple-double on Wednesday.
Maybe just a little reminder from Luka. Look what you missed out on.
Yep.
Now, I'm not mad at him. I appreciate it.
No.
This guy was – I don't think people realize how close he was to pushing Giannis out of that number 1 spot this week. They went down to the wire. Very close. I mean, it was a thing where had the Lakers continued their win streak, and LeBron's been fantastic, obviously, putting up the numbers as a scorer and facilitator for the Lakers without Anthony Davis doing it and doing it at a high level. The Lakers had their streak busted, and that it didn't end his opportunity, but it kind of took a little bit of starch out of a campaign this week where you'd say LeBron's done enough to push himself into that number 1 spot and give Giannis maybe a vacation for a week. Because Giannis has been here.
A respite.
He's been at number 1 for so long now. It's not even there's no suspense on Friday nights. We know he's going to
But the lead is that fragile, you're saying, that LeBron was almost there.
No, it's not that it's fragile. It's that I've been saying this consistently. Somebody's going to have to outplay Giannis to get him out of this spot. It's not going to be a thing where
Giannis, to beat him out.
It's not going to be a thing where he falls because he stops playing well. He does 30-plus double-digit rebounds and huge impact for the best in the league every single night. He's had one game this year where you can look and go, man, Giannis didn't play very well that night. Other than that, he's basically been at this same elite high MVP level from the start of the season until now.
You can make great arguments for a lot of these guys, but to me, the lead between Giannis and everyone else is pretty significant.
It's getting there. We're getting to the point now where if he's not going to take even a slight dip at some point, in this unbelievably rugged part of the season. You know how it is.
Yeah.
These guys get past the Christmas games right before All-Star. You see guys downshifting or you see guys kind of adjusting to what they know is going to be the pace of a really long season. Giannis could care less.
Nope.
I mean, they're doing the wrestling routine before games. It hasn't changed. Their energy, to me, is at an elite level. It's the reason the Bucks go into this second half of the season at the top of the charts, and nobody's going to knock them off. I mean, there's no sign of let up in the Bucks or Giannis or anybody in Milwaukee for that matter.
To me, he is the prohibitive favorite right now. And I say that as someone who didn't vote him first on my ballot last year.
There was a much more difficult debate to me last year. He's clear in front of the pack this year, whereas last year at this time, it was a great story, but we didn't know if he could keep it up. I think we got our answer already on that.
All right, the new Kia MVP ladder every Friday on NBA.com. LeBron does have the number 1 spot on at least one list, and that's jersey sales. The league announced today, LeBron still number 1, ahead of Giannis. Steph Curry's not even playing, and he's still selling jerseys out there. Jason Tatum, a little bit of a surprise for me at number 4, although the Celtics are a wildly popular team.
Yeah, and Tatum's had a really good year, obviously. The jersey sale is more about popularity than it is performance. So, I mean, I guess we shouldn't be surprised to see LeBron there. But I do think it's very important that you notice all the guys that you tend to find on MVP ladders, on all-star teams, on honor teams are the same guys who are the biggest sellers when it comes to jerseys. There's a correlation between all that, Matt, that I don't think goes away in any season. You go back and look at any season, your best players are going to be the guys who make all-star teams, all-NBA teams, and they're the ones that are selling when it comes to jerseys.
And look at number 15, Zion Williamson, already getting it done. He hasn't played yet.
Good for him. I mean, you're in the top 15 before you even take the first shot, officially of your career. I'm like everybody else. I can't wait to see him play. Looking forward to it.
Can't wait. We think that's going to happen.